Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Man United and Man City are set to offer Harry Kane 80 million in wages. Ryan Mason recently dismissed suggestions that Harry Kane asked to leave Tottenham. The Athletic recently said that we could swap Jesse Lingard for Harry Kane. There's also been talks of an Anthony Martial and Harry Kane swap deal because Tottenham won a players plus cash deal for Kane. Harry Kane recently handed in a transfer request at Tottenham. Man United, Man City and Chelsea have already contacted Harry Kane's representatives. Tottenham are demanding £150 million. Now, earlier on this season, it said that Harry Kane wants to win team trophies. He said that after Tottenham's Carabao Cup final defeat to Man City. Tottenham have not won a trophy for 13 years. The other week it said that Kane is ready to ask Tottenham to listen to transfer offers this summer. It says the Glazers were planning to sanction a £90 million bid, but I did say I was very sceptical that £90 million would be enough to convince Tottenham to offload him. But I would certainly take Harry Kane at Manchester United. The reasons is because he's well proven in the Premier League. He would assure us goals. He's very good at creating chances and he's regarded as one of the best strikers in the world. So they are the reasons. Kane has endured 17 years at Tottenham, so he has been a long servant. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's under contract with Tottenham until 2024. He has won the Golden Boot a couple of times. I think it is between him and Salah for this season's Golden Boot. He's had loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. Kane wants to stay in the Premier League. David Einstein spoke about it earlier on this season. He said he spoke to people in football. He said that Harry Kane wants to leave because he's unhappy. He did say he's committed to Tottenham whilst he's there. But he said he wants to win the biggest trophies and obviously he hasn't been experiencing this at Tottenham. Solskjaer recently refused to answer any questions regarding Harry Kane. But Solskjaer has refused to rule out Man United signing a new striker. So yeah, we still actually want a striker despite Edinson Cavani signing a one-year deal not so long ago. Now I want to give you some news regarding Raphael Varane. So according to Fabrizio Romano, Raphael Varane is the main name on Man United's list. We are waiting to see what happens with Raphael Varane's situation at Real Madrid. Real Madrid recently rejected a £40 million bid because it did say not so long ago we was preparing a £40 million bid. Real Madrid are demanding £60 million. The Manchester Evening News said the other day that Man United were holding exploratory talks with Raphael Varane as he considers his future at Real Madrid. Liverpool recently held talks. He said earlier on this season that Chelsea were the favourites to sign Raphael Varane. He says Chelsea were prepared to pay £61 million. But earlier on this season, Varane said he was keen on a move to the Premier League. He said earlier on this season that Real Madrid were closing in on the signing of David Alaba from Bayern Munich. But Raphael Varane's contract talks with Real Madrid stalled a while ago. His current contract expires next year. Earlier on this season as well, it said that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Raphael Varane on one condition: he must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. Back in 2018, we was prepared to sanction a £100 million move, and we went in for Varane 10 years ago. The reasons I take him at Manchester United is because he's a world-class centre-half. He'd complement Harry Maguire in our back line. He's highly experienced. He would exceed expectations in the Premier League, and he's got a good pedigree as a player. He's won around 18 major honours with Real Madrid. So they are the reasons. Raphael Varane has been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He's endured 10 years with them. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. Real Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. We've looked at quite a few centre-halves. We still want a centre-half despite Eric Bailly signing a new contract not so long ago. Man United have got a chance of signing Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. It recently said that Sancho to Man United is close, and Sancho expects to complete a move to Man United this summer. It recently said that we were the favourites to sign Sancho. It says we was ready to launch a bid in the region of £65 million to £75 million for him. I think Dortmund are demanding around £85 million. That's still a reasonable fee for Sancho. Jadon Sancho's representatives are more confident than ever that Sancho will join Man United this summer. He recently said as well that we could use Jesse Lingard to buy Sancho. The Manchester Evening News said not so long ago that Sancho is pushing for a transfer out of Dortmund this summer. Dortmund did confirm earlier on this season that they've got a gentleman's agreement with Sancho over a possible transfer. Dortmund have already admitted that they'll sell Sancho for the right price, and Borussia Dortmund's CEO did reveal that the club will discuss exceptional offers for the winner. A few clubs have been interested. Chelsea have been in for him. Liverpool were in for him, but as far as I'm aware now, they're not in for him. And Bayern Munich recently entered the race. But if we sign Sancho, that'll be good business by Man United in that aspect, because Jadon Sancho is a very good player. I'm convinced he would exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. He's predominantly a right winger. He would assure his goals. He's good at creating chances, and he knows Marcus Rashford very, very well. Last summer, he was our number one priority target. Sancho to Man United last summer was extremely close because the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, and we come to an agreement on a contract. The reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. Dortmund made it clear to us that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. But like I've said to you so many times before, Fabrizio Romano's spoken a lot about the Sancho saga, and so too has Bill's Christian Farke. This has been Sancho's 4th season at Dortmund. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City, and he's under contract with Dortmund till 2023. Jadon Sancho admitted the other week he's unsure where his future lies. So there you go. But Solskjaer's already made it clear that he wants to make 3 world-class signings in order for Man United to challenge for the Premier League title next season. I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. It's very imperative that Solskjaer gets the players that he wants to recommend in. The summer transfer window will be his 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. And I'm hoping Solskjaer gets the backing he deserves. He should get the backing he deserves because we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director and he knows the club through thick and thin. And we've also got Matt Judge, and Matt Judge has been part of the club for a while. I feel as though Solskjaer has not been backed enough so far, and in that aspect the blame stems from the board. We are going to offload quite a few players in the summer transfer window. In that aspect, we'll generate money and it'll help us with our rebuilding process. De Gea, he could possibly leave Man United in the summer transfer window. De Gea is obviously now our second choice goalkeeper. Dean Henderson's our number 1. But Solskjaer has actually come out and said that De Gea will be starting in goal for the Europa League final, and he was in goal recently against Fulham. I reckon now De Gea has had his years at Manchester United. He's endured, 10 years at the club. He's been a long servant. I reckon he's had around 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been with us, because in the last couple of years, he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But a few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. He has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Now, earlier on this season, it said that De Gea had made his transfer decision. It said that he's preparing to leave Man United. And he said Man United are set to pay off his huge contract. De Gea has, 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week, which is a substantial amount. We'll demand around 50 million for De Gea in the summer transfer window. We'll certainly get more than what we paid for him. But a few clubs have been interested in him. It said not so long ago that Jose Mourinho wanted De Gea at Roma for next season, but I said there's a very good chance he will go back to Spain. Sergio Romero, I'm expecting us to offload him because he doesn't get in our team, and he's like, our 3rd or 4th choice goalkeeper now. Most of his appearances have come in the cup games. We brought Romero in under Louis van Gaal era. Romero's been at Man United now over 5 years. We got him on a free from San Pandora. Lee Grant, I'm expecting us to offload him. I think we got him on a free from Stoke. We brought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. I recall him making 1 appearance for Man United, and I think it was against Astana. Phil Jones, I want us to offload him in the summer transfer window. Whether we do or not, I do not know. Jones has always been inconsistent. He doesn't get an R11 and he's been out with injury for a long time. He's the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. Jones has been a long servant at Man United. This has been his 10th season. Diego Dalot, we're looking to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Brandon Williams, I think it would be the right decision to offload him. So obviously he gets a lot more opportunities and he gains more experience because he seldom plays for us. Williams is our third choice left back. He played a lot of games last season. That's only because Luke Shaw had a couple of periods out with injury. The start of this season we give Brandon Williams that number 33 shirt. Nemanja Matic, I think there's a good chance that we'll offload him in the summer transfer window. Because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders, and analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been inconsistent. But he's had some games where he's been consistent. I think the club made a mistake by giving him that 3-year contract before the start of this season. I've always had my strong reservations about him because he's always been a slow player. We got Matic in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Paul Pogba, he could leave Man United in the summer transfer window, but I hope he doesn't because we've been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months. He does bring creativity to the team. Don't forget earlier on this season, Pogba had a thigh injury. He was out for a while. He was out for the first part of this season with an ankle injury, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. In recent games, we've been putting Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role. I think we need to keep him there because that's where he seems to be more effective. He's much better in more of an advanced role than he is in a deeper role. Now, reports said not so long ago, like he updated you on, that Man United could sell Paul Pogba for just 55 million this summer. He said earlier on this season that Man United will offer Paul Pogba a new £400,000 a week contract, but it said Pogba was demanding £500,000 a week. I think Mino Raiola, his agent, is demanding in the excess of £400,000 a week for his client to stay at Man United. Pogba's current contract expires next year because earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. He said we will sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window if he doesn't sign a new contract. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants him to stay. Solskjaer said earlier on this season he hopes Pogba signs a new contract, and he said that Paul Pogba's future lies at Man United, and our players would be devastated if the club decided to sell him. Mino Raiola has been doing a lot of talking throughout the course of this season. He said not so long ago that Paul Pogba wants to win trophies at Man United or at another top European club. He said his future is still in doubt, and he did mention a Eden Hazard and Paul Pogba swap deal. Earlier on this season he said as well he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy, and he did criticise Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. And he made an admission back in December last year regarding Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement. But he's had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him, and his former club Juventus have been in for him. He did enjoy 4 good years at Juventus before he rejoined Man United. Swap deals have been high on the agenda. This has been Paul Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined, and he's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. But if we sell him in the summer transfer window, I would be disappointed. If we do sell him, we've got to get a good, adequate replacement. Juan Mata, I think there's a chance we'll sell him this summer. There again, Solskjaer recently said that no decision has been made on Juan Mata's future. I think his current contract expires next month, but there is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Juan Mata doesn't get in R11, does he, hardly? And my element of concern about him is lost that yard of pace. Juan Mata's been at the club now, is it 7 years? Got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014, and a lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial. You know, he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. The chances have been there for him, but he hasn't converted them. Obviously, he's been out of an knee injury for a while. Solskjaer's hopeful that he will be back for the Europa League final. A lot of Man United players will stay in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. You know, Henderson will stay. He's got a long-term future. Shaw will stay. You know, Shaw's been our best player this season, but in his last, 2 or 3 games, he has looked off the pace. Eric Bailly, obviously, we now know he's staying. He signed a new contract not so long ago. Harry Maguire, he'll stay. I don't know how long for, though. Harry Maguire has got ligament damage in his ankle at the moment. Don't think he's going to be available for the Europa League final against Villarreal, because Solskjaer recently said it isn't looking great. He sustained the ankle injury in our 3-1 win against Aston Villa, but without him at the back, defensively we are shambolic. Victor Lindelof, he'll stay potentially past the summer, but I can assure he hasn't got a long-term future at Man United. And Wan-Bissaka, obviously we know he'll stay. I reckon he's got a long-term future at the club. Donny van de Beek will probably stay potentially past the summer, even though throughout the course of this season there has been rumours of him leaving because he hasn't been given enough opportunities at Manchester United. He said the other week that we will reject any offers for Van de Beek this summer. So reflecting on that, we are reluctant to let him go. Solskjaer's got big plans for him. He's only started like 3 games in the Premier League this season. Bruno Fernandes, he'll also stay as well, probably long term. I think Fernandes has said he'll sign a new contract if Man United make another 2 signings, and it said as well Fernandes wants Pogba to commit his future to the club. Mason Greenwood, he'll also stay as well. I reckon he'll be with us long term because he's done well in a lot of his games since he broke into our senior squad. Marcus Rashford's another one that will stay. Rashford's become injury prone at Man United because he has now sustained quite a few injuries, and obviously we know that Edison Cavani is staying for next season because not so long ago he signed a 1-year deal. Daniel James, I think he'll stay as well, potentially past the summer, and Amad Diallo Traore will stay. But like I said, it was a disappointing game against Fulham. We drew 1-1. It was our final home game this season. 3 games now without a win for Manchester United in the Premier League. We did have 10,000 fans against Fulham. You know, Solskjaer even said, it was good to see fans back. Solskjaer gave his perception on the game. Against Fulham. He says the performance was not what the fans wanted. I thought it was a good performance in the first half, but I thought the second half was very poor and Fulham were the better team. The only positive to take from that game against Fulham was Edison Cavani's goal. It was a superb goal. He was 40 yards out. He saw Areola off his line and he dinked it over him. They said Fernandes got the assist, but I'm not sure because there was a debate whether it touched him. To me, it didn't look like it touched him. So if it didn't touch him, then De Gea got the assist because De Gea's goal kick. Was the build-up to that goal. Fulham basically have got nothing to play for because they are relegated. We lost to Liverpool 4-2 not so long ago. That was disappointing as well. And we lost 2-1 to Leicester. I weren't too disappointed with the loss to Leicester, because obviously Solskjaer rotated heavily, obviously with the fixture congestion. Our final Premier League game is Wolves. That is on Sunday. We are guaranteed Champions League football for next season, which is good. And we're probably going to finish second in the Premier League. But as you all know, the Europa League is our priority now. We've got Villarreal in the final. Like I've said, Villarreal aren't world beaters, but they are no pushovers. We've got to take this game very seriously against Villarreal. It's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first major final as Manchester United manager, and it's our 8th European final. Solskjaer's looking to win his first trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, and Solskjaer said the other month, didn't he, that winning trophies can be an ego thing. So for the game against Wolves on Sunday, I'm expecting Solskjaer to rotate. I presume he's going to rest key players for the Europa League final. Gary Neville reckons that Solskjaer could go with the same lineup against Villarreal as he did do in the game against Fulham recently. Obviously, there's a lot of Manchester United fans that have been demanding Solskjaer out, and they've heavily criticised him. They've obviously got their reasons behind it, but I presume there's a lot of United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. This has been his second full season at Man United, and he's been Manchester United manager now over 2 years. I was Ole out at one point. I'm not Ole out at the moment, but like I've said on my recent videos, I don't think he's a long-term future for Man United, but I hope I'm proven wrong. I want Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager because we do adore him. He is a club legend. But Solskjaer has done a pretty good job, to say the squad he was left with when he came in. I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. Solskjaer is aware that next season's going to be huge for him. Next season, he's got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Manchester United manager. If things go wrong next season, then I think there's a very good chance he will be Solskjaer's current contract expires next year, doesn't it? But he said earlier on this season that he agreed a 3-year deal worth 30 million. He said it's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra 1. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.